They say we don't play audio enough on the show. Every other show likes to just say, hey, we got that audio of this coach saying this. You know what? So we're going to play some audio. We are going to do it probably for the first time. Here is Blake Baker, LSU's defensive coordinator on the Weeks brothers.
It's a lot of fun. Those three brothers are they're fun to coach. Zach's like a lot of freshmen. He's probably getting coached a lot meaner than the other two, but that just comes with the territory. But those three guys, especially the two older ones, that have been in here, man, great leaders. All the stuff that they do from a tangible standpoint, what's more impressive is how they carry themselves off the field. They do everything the right way. They're the type of guys, you want your daughter to marry, and I don't say that lightly. I think those three guys are phenomenal young men. Obviously, their play on the field speaks for itself, but what they do off the field and how they carry themselves and the job that David and Aaron have done raising them it's fun to coach. There's not a lot of high maintenance with those three.
So look, we don't play a lot of audio, but I wanted to play that one, all jokes aside, because I think the Weeks brothers are exactly kind of what LSU they needed and they continue to need. I think you need, and I'm not, like when I use this term, y'all know like this truly does mean something to me. Like they needed some meatheads. They needed some guys that are like all about the school they're playing for. They're going to do literally whatever it takes. They're going to put their body on the line. They don't really care what happens to themselves as long as it's good for the team. Like, think about Wes Weeks last year. He could have helped this football team, but he had some injuries, and he wasn't able to get on the field for a bulk of the season. And once he got healthy, he had a decision he had to make. And it was one that he had to sit out some games because he knew he could come back this year. He knew he could use that year as a redshirt year and come back and play with both of his brothers and give LSU everything he had. And I'm sure that was difficult for him. I'm sure he wanted to get out there for the 2 games that he probably could have. And so this is somebody that is ready for this moment. We know what Whit Weeks is all about. He's at SEC Media Days. He's on every preseason All-American list. But, look, you bring in Taylor's cousin Sharp to play tight end. You bring in Pyron, an edge rusher, and they are like, the ultimate meatheads, and you can't, like the wait staff, you ask them about them and they're like, they light up and they just start smiling. I think that's good to have some of those guys that are just like, hey, we're all about ball.
Yep.
We are all about being mean, nasty, tough, the physicality of it. So, that's a group of guys that I'm looking forward to seeing how it all plays out for them.
Yeah, and they're not a group of guys. They walk into a room and they strike you as like, man, those are big, intimidating dudes, right?
Right.
Like physically talented, but like not the baddest dude in the room, like just from like a stature standpoint. But guys that you have to have on a team. And I look back at the defense last year. Whit would be the unquestioned, to me, like emotional, spiritual leader of a defense. And a defense last year that, by LSU standards over the last 20 years, not great, but with the talent they had, what they were working with, overachieved and played at times better than what maybe the roster from top to bottom said. Because they played hard. They played with their hair on fire. That's what was so frustrating in previous years. And I know we don't want to keep bringing up the MH name. A defensive coordinator, but like the previous years it was frustrating to watch because you saw talent on the field, you saw this and that, but schematically wasn't good, and then it just looked like the defense didn't play hard.
Yep.
It would just like they'd give up on tackles, they would give up on blocks. If they got blocked up, they would give up. They wouldn't it was just missing something. Well, the Weeks brothers and Whit last year being that leader, like you saw something different. You saw like a switch happen.
Yep.
You saw, all right, we are going to play with our hair on fire. We're going to have fun. We're going to play crazy. We are going to play with effort. And if we lose, it's not going to be because we didn't give everything that we had and played with our hair on fire. And everybody, I think we're all extremely happy with the job that Blake Baker has done. But you got to have those guys. Man, the Weeks brothers are the epitome of that. That we are going to play. And now this year going into it, they have those pieces. They did well in the transfer. You have all those pieces. You brought them in. You got more talent. So you put that on the field with that intensity, with that effort that we just talked about that they showed last year. I think they have a chance to, I don't know how special or not they can be as a unit, but I know they're going to be pretty damn good.
I think they've got, like, you add, Pybron to the defensive line, and you have the Weeks brothers. Tate, you've been out to practice. You've kind of seen the defensive back group, probably the one that I've heard you talk the most about, the one you've been most excited about. Who can be that guy back there? Because I think you need a guy like Flynn's describing on all three levels. Like Blake's defense, that's what it is. Like it needs that aggressive nature to it. So who can be that guy in the back end?
The aggressive nature, for me, it's A.J. Halsey. I mean, he's laying the wood every practice. Mentor Delane, same thing. As far as a leader in that room, though, Ashton Stamps doesn't come off the field a whole lot, and he's entering his third year pretty much as a starter on this team. So, I actually think there's options in the secondary.
Then also you've got Harold Perkins, who's playing the star position that can kind of be described as a hybrid safety linebacker position. And for him, I think it's about striking the fear in offenses like he once did. Like whatever his role ends up being, we talked about it in length last week. He has to be the person that when you're game planning, because he's been that in his career, it's like, all right, where's number 7 at? Where is he lining up? And I think the best case scenario is you can't pinpoint where he's going to line up. Like everything's going to be a little bit different. Like if you just line him up in the same spot every time, then I think you're doing his skill set a disservice. And that's at any position. Like he has shown that he can play multiple things, and I'm excited to see how they utilize him in every down situations. Like what does it look like on first and second down, on third down? Does he move to a true edge rusher position? Are you still going to keep him at the star position, and then you're going to bring 4 from the weak side? Like, what's it going to look like from him?
Yeah, because if you do it right, it's going to be really good, right? If you do it wrong, it's just going to be meh. Like it's been the last couple of years. You're going to see the flashes, you're going to see the sparks, but you're not going to get his full ability, because if you find the way to utilize his full ability, it's special, man. It is so special. And so that's the job that Blake Baker and the staff have to do. But they got the pieces. They got more pieces around him.
Yeah.
Right. So they have more pieces. So hopefully they can get him isolated on some blockers this year. But if they find that's the puzzle piece we're talking about. He is the ultimate puzzle piece.
Yeah.
The golden puzzle piece, whatever you want to call it. Like if you find a way to make it fit, it's really, really special.
I think you're talking about potentially 20 to 25 spots on the total defense list if Harold Perkins is a star this year. And I'm not talking about the star position. I'm just talking about a star of college football. You could be talking about the difference between a top 15 defense and a top 40 defense.
Yeah, let me tell you, like when we talk about South Carolina, we say if Lenore Sellers is in the Heisman running, that means they're having a really good year. Yeah. If Harold Perkins is on an All-American trajectory, if he's a special player that everybody's talking about, LSU football team is going to be a top 5 team at the end of the season.
I think you can make the argument that Harold Perkins is the most important non-quarterback in the country. In the country. You can go across, you can talk receivers, you can talk running backs, offense, defensive line. There's some other people that certainly would be up for this category. But just like Flynn said, if Harold Perkins in November is being talked about as an All-American, LSU's in the playoff discussion and one of the top 10 teams in the country, and I don't think it's close.
I think if he's in that talk like we think he can be, if they figured out the way to use him, because he's got an opportunity with all of these quarterbacks that we're facing this season that are mobile, able to run, like he's got a chance to flash a lot this year. We're a top 5, top 3 team at the end of this season. We're in the SEC championship if he's doing those things.